Greetings. Legal notice was given of this regular meeting of the mayor and board of alderpersons this Thursday, February 14th, 2019 at 6 p.m. held here in this courtroom at City Hall. We are going to observe a moment of silence. We're going to ask Councilman Shaw to lead us in prayer, and we're going to ask Mayor Pro Tem Marvin Moore to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Shall we stand?
Let's have a moment of silence. Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this opportunity to come together tonight to work on city business. Lord, we just thank You for blessing us and all the things You've done for us. And Lord, as we go forward, we pray that You would help us and give us direction, help us to be of sound mind, and we give You honor and praise for all we do here tonight. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Salute. Pledge.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Goldman, roll call, please.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Prater.
Here.
Mr. Shaw.
Here.
Mr. Green.
Present.
Mr. Locke.
Here.
All present, Mayor.
We have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
This meeting is now in session. Announcements?
I have one, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, I'm going to abstain from voting. I didn't have enough time to go through my package. I just received it less than 24 hours ago.
Okay.
I'm abstaining from voting tonight.
Well, you can do that at each one?
Okay,
Just
well,
not, okay, but I'm glad you made it public.
Okay.
Okay, any reason? Okay, any other announcements? Robert, you want to talk about the work at Cherry Ridge?
Yeah, I could say something about that. If you've been down Cherry Ridge Road on your way to 425, you'll notice that we had one of our worst, not the worst, railroad crossings in the city. So with that, over the last couple of years, we've been working with the railroad and with the DOTD, but we finally made an accomplishment. We got that crossing fixed. If you hadn't been over it, just ride over it. It's pretty smooth. And something we've been working hard on, and it just takes a long time to pull that all together when you got all the agencies to deal with. The other one I'll mention, go ahead and mention, Mayor, we're working on Cleveland Street. Cleveland Street, the bridge is out. It's been taken out by the DOTD. And we will have a item tonight on the agenda where we can go ahead and take some action as soon as we get the time it's going to take to start this project and finish it. So we'll be keeping everybody informed on that, and I get it back just as quick as we can.
And additionally, on the Martin Luther King Street Bridge, we have met with DOTD. As some of you know, and if you would go back and look at the meetings when we first took office, we asked the City Council to revive a plan to replace the Martin Luther King Street Bridge. The State Department of Highways, working with the federal government, put the Martin Luther King Street Bridge on the Federal Off-Highway Bridge Program in 1998. The plans for that were completed in 2006, and they were done in metric because the United States was trying to go to the metric system and the federal government had. When we came in office, we called to get the status of that because I was going to ask the council to proceed with that. So historically, we started right away in the council. I asked the council to approve having the plans redone because the state had told me that they were taking the bridge out of the program in 2018. And we asked them not to take the bridge out of the program, but to give us time to redo the plans. And the council, when I asked the council, Councilman Locke, I particularly remember saying that that's a no-brainer. You remember that, Councilman Locke?
Sure did.
that's a no-brainer that we should spend the $100,000 to have the plant, to have the bridge re-engineered, because we had gone down and looked at it, and we saw the pilings. We'd gone under the bridge, and we saw the rot and the decay, and we knew that the bridge might not pass inspection this December, and it did not pass inspection. We were hoping that we could limp along until time to construct, but we had the plan in hand meeting. There are steps that you have to follow, the specific steps that you have to follow when doing a project involving state and federal money. And we followed those steps, and some of the major steps was, of course, get the engineering drawings done. And after getting the engineering drawings done, we, and the bridge re-engineered, we had to have a plan in hand meeting, which included all the utility companies, all the landowners who had an interest that we're going to have to ask for additional property rights. There's 6 properties involved. The city is one. Of course, our sewer district, sewer use district, has a piece of that. So we had the plan in hand meeting in July. And then the next big hurdle, along with other work, was the environmental study done by the Corps of Engineers. 3 Wednesdays ago, we got clearance from the United States Corps of Engineers that we had met all the, the environmental assessments. So we had a green light to go on to the next step, which is to acquire the property rights. And Mr. Pierre, with the assistance of council, we've been doing that. We've had meetings with all of the property owners to inform them of the process. And we've got until May 1st to get that property, those property rights of way done. The next step that we could not proceed with, of course, meeting with them simultaneously, and you'll see an item on the agenda here. Simultaneously, we have to hire a state-approved appraiser to appraise the property. And we have an appraiser here from the list that's from the general area, from the Monroe area, that I'm asking the council to approve. They've got to appraise and set a value. And the property owners would have to either agree or they could contest, but there's a process for that. So just wanted everyone to know the status of that. And we're slated right now, if everything goes like we're planned, to start construction on July the 7th. And the reason that I did not ask the council to do anything on the Martin Luther King Bridge, as you're going to see when we discuss the Cleveland Street Bridge, of the tremendous cost that's involved in repairing these bridges. They're quite large bridges by our standards, a small city. And we did not, I don't think it's feasible to ask the council to spend $80,000 to $120,000 on the Martin Luther King Bridge to patch it just to be torn down in July. But if any councilman feels contrary to the contrary, then you can, we can talk about it. But that's why it's not on the agenda. People are going to have patience. You see, they come up and done some sensational TV stories. Had a lady on TV saying, "Fix this bridge, fix this bridge." There's a process, and we're going as fast as we can, as the process will allow. So that's an announcement. Public comments as they relate to items on this agenda. Approval of the minutes, previous minutes, regular meeting of January 10th, item 5.
Mayor, I move that we adopt and approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 10th, 2019.
It's been moved that we adopt. Do we have a second?
I second that motion, Mayor.
Moved by Councilman Shaw, second by Mayor Pro Tem Moore, that we approve these minutes. In the discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Item 6, Finance Committee Report, Resolution 19-1817, Bills and Claims for the month of January 2019. Do we have a motion?
May I Finance Committee report, resolution 1817, for the month of January 2017.
It's been moved by Councilman Locke, who is chair of the Finance Committee, that we approve this resolution, that we adopt this resolution. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Moore. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-1817. Mr. Dennis Epps, Chancellor of Louisiana Delta Community College. Sir, would you come to the microphone, please? And we're so delighted to have you here in our presence.
Yes, sir. Happy to be with you, Mayor.
Yes. Before we get into this, and we'll be brief because I was told to make the meeting as quick as possible. Today is Valentine's
I'm
Day.
aware.
And I've got my Valentine tie on. You have worked so well with us here in the city of Bastrop since you became chancellor. You're always accessible. We have lots of conversations, and you've got great ideas. And I wanted to make this announcement tonight. We've been talking for quite a while about campus,
Yes, sir.
and I'm going to ask this council to consider working a deal where you can acquire 7 acres in the industrial park in that main area that walks around, that people walk around, for a brand-new community Delta Community College. I would like to see the college anchor our industrial park. We haven't had any movement in the industrial park for quite some time, and I'm going to ask this council to consider that as we put together some proposals and contact our state representatives and delegations, and I'm not asking you to commit to that, but if you want to comment, you can, but if you don't have to.
Certainly. What I'd like to say, first of all, Mayor, members of the council, staff, and citizens, is we very much appreciate the opportunity to work here in the community with you from Louisiana Delta Community College's perspective. Got my campus director here, Ms. Leonda, who does an outstanding job out there working with the citizens. We believe, Mayor, as you stated earlier, that we're experiencing tremendous growth in our programs across all of our campus locations. We see the need to prepare a skilled workforce. We know that a skilled workforce is the number one thing that we need to provide both to our existing employers and also in hopes of attracting additional investment to our region. And so what we do know is we're very grateful to have the locations that we have here in the community. They are aged. There are some major reinvestment that has to take place there, and I would be delighted if Mayor, you, the council, the citizens here, that we all just look at opportunities down the road to do some things that could very well help establish the city's ability to attract new investment and provide new jobs in the community. And just know that we're committed to that goal totally and completely. So love to have the opportunity to work with you on that effort.
Well, I will get with the council and surveyors and keep presenting. You've gotten a couple of emails from me to this some time ago, but I thought it was time that I share with the council what I'm thinking. And I just, envision a wonderful campus out in our industrial park. We have some accessibility problems way on the west side of town. People from the rest of the parish have to drive almost to the westernmost part of Morehouse Parish to about 7 miles from the Ouachita Parish line, and this location 2 miles from Madison Avenue. So I'm just going to work toward putting together and I expect to get some council input on this and look at really what's been happening in our industrial park, not much, over years, and I think it's a good model to anchor there. But that's not what you're here for tonight directly. You're here because there is a resolution on the number 8, which is resolution 19. Can we would anyone have a problem with us going to 8 and keeping Mr. Epps up here? And I'm going to ask Kay King to come up also, Kay? Because we're going to talk about this property. Kay did the surveying on this some years ago. She is a licensed surveyor. And Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, can you conduct this whole thing, please?
I got it, but I have the mic.
Is your mic on, sir?
I think it is.
Okay.
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I did have the occasion, maybe a couple of days ago, to speak with Ms. King with respect to my presentation to the council. For the record, we as the city of Bastrop received a letter on January the 14th of 2019 from a law firm in Baton Rouge, Brazil, Sashi and Wilson. The Brazil, Sashi and Wilson firm is holding in its escrow account $17,531.00, which was the sums resulting from a cash deed transaction between the city of Bastrop and the Louisiana Community and Technical College system. They're requesting the release of those funds from their escrow account, and it was for the acquisition of 1.865 acre tract of land in the airport area. Let me give you the timeline so you can understand what has transpired with respect to that particular property. This particular transaction was in the early part of the 2000s, 2005 is when that transaction took place. But in order to understand what my position is going to be with respect to this, I have to take you back to 1983. And I guess I did understand Mr. Green's comment earlier about, just getting this packet today. This particular item, when I discussed it with the administration a couple of days ago, was supposed to be here for discussion only. I said put it on for action purposes because of the reasons in which I'm going to give you all in a few minutes. In 1983, the city of Bastrop donated a 2.640 acre tract of land, which encompassed the 1.865 acre tract of land to the State of Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education. The mayor at that time was Mayor Bond, and that transaction was done and recorded with the parish office. In 1992, that same area to which was donated to the Louisiana Department of Education and Elementary and Secondary Education was leased on a 10-year lease to Delta Behavior Products, Inc. Herein lies the problem. The property was donated and it was subsequently leased on a 10-year lease. The terms of the lease were that the Delta Biological Products, Inc. were supposed to perform certain conditions. Notwithstanding that, in 2005, there was a cash deed, which is the subject to the Louisiana Technical College, that was executed between the city of Bastrop and its mayor at that time, again, Mayor Hawkins, and the Louisiana Community and Technical College system. They purported to place $17,531 in escrow, and that property was subject to transfer if certain conditions by the city of Bastrop was met. More specifically, the United States Department of Transportation and Development, Federal Aviation Administration had restrictions on that property because that property is located within the airport. What the city of Bastrop were required to do was to communicate with the Federal Aviation Administration and get those restrictions lifted. Sometime in August of 2004, the FAA sent a letter to the city of Bastrop. I have not seen this letter, but they set forth what conditions need to be met in order to lift those restrictions, i.e. to consummate the sale. Mind you, we're talking about the same property that was donated in 1983 to the State of Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, and again, purported to have been leased on May 21st of 1992, moving forward to 2005 when this took place. Well, the city of Bastrop, notwithstanding those two previous transactions, entered into a cash deed transaction executed by this council, authorized by this council, giving the mayor the authority to engage into that contractual relationship with the technical college systems. And that particular escrow agreement and cash deed was executed in August and October of 2014. Cash deed was executed first in August. The escrow agreement was executed in October of 2014. Well, inside of that escrow agreement set forth the terms and conditions to which they're asking to be released. More specifically, the city of Bastrop was supposed to meet some conditions. Well, moving forward past 2005, the next thing that I saw in the city of Bastrop's file was in 2007 when the city of Bastrop sent out an sundry of communications to various, what I call agencies and groups to make certain that we were, I'm assuming, meeting the conditions set forth. We sent letters out, of course, to the FAA. At that point in time, Mr. John Voigt was the project manager who was managing the project. We sent letters out to the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, Department of Culture, Recreation and Tourism, and as well as the Department of Army Corps of Engineers. We received one response back, and of course, I'm sorry, to the Wildlife and Fisheries as well. Wildlife and Fisheries is the only agency who responded back to the city of Bastrop indicating that the project as proposed did not affect the resources. There's no responses in our file with respect to the request from FAA, DEQ, or the Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. The Department of Army did send a letter back, but the Department of Army only indicated that, look, we're a little busy right now, we'll get to it later, you know, gave you a project number when you want to call, refer to this particular number. In 2009, Mayor Hawkins, as well as Ms. Goldman, attempted again to communicate to the FAA with respect to lifting of those restrictions, i.e. to consummate the sale. Mayor Hawkins, both in May of 2009. Ms. Goldman, I'm assuming responded, and she can respond for herself, responded to some a list of emails that had gone back and forward, submitted to Mr. Voigt as instructed, some things that she was requested to submit. One, which was a plat map. Two, which was the parcel information from the Morehouse Parish Assessor's Office. And she also submitted to them the donation and the VPOs that was executed in 1983. Well, that served as the end of the city of Bastrop's file. I did reach out to I think it's Ms. Cevallos, who's the new project manager with FAA. She did not have anything in her file, i.e., there's nothing to reflect that the FAA has lifted the restrictions, i.e. making the city of Bastrop okay on this side with respect to the sale. Now, granted, you know, I'm not certain that, you may or may not be aware, but I don't think you can sell something that you don't own. In 1983, that property was donated to the state of Louisiana, and as of this particular date, when you look at the Morehouse records, parish records, that property is still listed as the Louisiana, state of Louisiana is still listed as the parcel owner of that particular piece of property. What you're here for today is because there's a request to release the restrictions, to release the funds that are in escrow. I don't think you have a choice but to release it. I don't think we were entitled to it. We didn't have the right to sell the property because we did not own it. Now, that cash deed was never recorded. From what I saw, it was never recorded, and perhaps maybe the reason why there was not any responses back from the FAA with respect to lifting restrictions may have been in response to the most recent communication in May of 2009 when Ms. Goldman sent the parcel information as well as the actual certified copy of the donation when the property was donated to the state of Louisiana. So all in all, they're seeking to have the funds that were set in escrow released. I think we're obligated to release those funds to them, i.e. we are not entitled to the same. Now, I'm certain that everybody knows what escrow is. If you buy a house and you pay your mortgage note each month, they take a little bit out for your taxes and for your insurance. At the end of the year, they pay it all at once, and then you start they take the first part out. But anyway, they hold your money, then they pay for your mortgage and your insurance, and they pay for your taxes. Simply put, that's what was attempted to be done here. They say we're going to buy the property, but it's subject to the city of Bastrop meeting certain conditions. City of Bastrop did not meet those conditions, so those funds that were held in escrow some 13 years ago, they're asking that they be released.
Chancellor, is that sort of your understanding that, of course, the community college needs these funds freed up?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
We can make good use of those.
Yes. And Kay, you surveyed the property back then, and I believe that there may have been some kind of stipulation that may never been recorded about if the property wasn't used?
Yeah, yes, sir. When I went to the courthouse as a surveyor, I pulled the records, and when I pulled the records for the 2.6 acre tract, it was still in the name of the State of Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education. Of course, I'm just a surveyor. I go out and I do what I'm told, and
Okay.
my instruction was to write a new description for just the part that was under fence, which worked out to be a little over 1.8 acres. But I guess it's moving on forward. In talking with the community college, I provided them with a copy of this plat, not realizing that nothing had ever been filed because
Yes, okay.
I was just,
And-
like I
and-
said, the surveyor. But
Okay.
that was my conclusion too. And I looked, but I'm not a title opinion person, but I've looked a number of times to see if there was a transfer, and I could not find a transfer into the city name.
So, thank you so much. Thank you, Chancellor. We love the work that you are doing, and we appreciate your campus director being here. Can you stand, please? That's, can you come over here just for a second? I just want to get you on camera. Yeah, we want people to know who you are. We work so well with this young lady. I wanted to call her the GED champion of the world because the community college, she has such a wonderful program and doing such a marvelous job. Can you state your name for the record, please?
I am Leonda Hardy.
Ms. Harden, it's good to see you here. Of course, I was at your campus with a student the other day, right, last Friday?
Yes, you are.
Yes, and you all were so accommodating to help this student get started on there, and they're getting that paperwork that they need,
Good.
okay, to get in. So expect that young man to be there, and I know you and Ms. Walker and the rest know what to do.
We sure do.
Thank you. Chancellor, anything else you'd like to say as we take this vote?
Appreciate you taking this vote, taking this consideration, and we look forward to working with you as we go forward together.
Absolutely.
Chancellor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say we appreciate you being our guest speaker
Yes, sir, thank you.
later in this month on the 26th of
Looking forward to
February
that.
at 6:30. and
Absolutely.
Chamber
Banquet.
Chamber
Annual
banquet.
Looking forward to that opportunity to speak a little further, so thank you for that. Thank you.
I just wish you were announcing the new college at the industrial park, that's all. No, I know.
It'll come.
Okay,
It'll
thank
come.
you. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, item 8 is Resolution 19-1823, resolution authorizing the mayor to sign to release funds in escrow for the Louisiana Delta Community College, formerly known as Louisiana Community and Technical College System, LTCTS, on the airport road. What's your pleasure? Does anyone want to make a motion to that?
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved by Councilman Shaw, second by Councilman Locke, that we adopt this resolution releasing these funds to the Louisiana Delta. Is there any discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I
The ayes.
abstain.
What's that?
I abstain.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you.
Abstaining also.
Okay, well, let's get a roll call, Ms. Goldman?
Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater?
Abstaining.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
And Mr. Locke?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Number 9, Ricky White. Mr. Ricky White. Yes, sir. Would you come up, please? And this is about a blues show. Welcome to Bastrop. Of course, you operate here. Been here for a long time, operating and doing things in the city of Bastrop. Can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, I'm Ricky White. This is my wife, Pauline. And we wants to bring some excitement back to the city. Try to draw a lot of people, that's our goal, and to do it right.
Well, we believe in entertainment for our people here in the city of Bastrop. We are very competitive with surrounding towns, and you've been doing concerts in other towns. You've done
Yeah.
Monroe,
Mostly Monroe,
and you've done this Mother's
Mother's Day show.
Day show.
We just wanted to move it here
Yes,
to get a different scene, different feel.
yes. And I know Mr. Isaac Gray's probably been kind of recruiting people. He's always trying to recruit people to
Right.
come and have events here. And so we can fill up our parks and sell items in our town, have people come here and pay sales tax and
Right.
maybe stay in our hotels, motels.
Right.
And we know that you are not only a promoter, but you are also a businessman in the wing business,
Right.
King of Wings,
King of Wings.
King of Wings, lemon pepper dry.
That's it.
All right. And you also are an entertainer. You're a recording artist,
Right.
had hits and hits and hits. So, well, we want to welcome you to Bastrop, and the purpose of this is just to introduce you basically to the citizens of Bastrop and this council. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. White?
I do. Mr. Ricky, I think I seen on social media that it was a flyer.
Uh-huh.
Did it have the city of Bastrop presenting this as
It
well?
changed it.
Okay, you changed it?
Yes, changed.
Okay,
That was a mistake.
okay. Yeah, I seen it. I didn't,
Yeah.
I received my package late, so when I seen you on the agenda
Right.
just now, I thought about
The
flyer.
first one said something like sponsored, co-sponsored by
It said city of Bastrop
Presents. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions for?
I want to know why he coming to Bastrop with that's a Alabama, Arkansas shirt. You coming in to Bastrop with that and want Bastrop to support you?
It was a gift.
A gift, and you can, and you're gonna come up here asking us for our help. Go ahead, I'll do it.
What does he need, an LSU shirt? on?
LSU or Grambling or something.
Something.
ULM or something.
Yeah.
May I just,
Oh, Delta Community College.
Mr. Locke, Mr. Locke has a question.
have any comment?
I'll be out there, Mr. Ricky. I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, come on, chief.
Mayor and council, just want to make sure that we have the business at hand also.
Right.
Can you come close to the microphone, chief?
I got a voice that'll carry. Is it May the 11th, Ricky?
Yes.
Just sure that we have the business at hand for the council, that we entertain, that we waive the city's open container law
Right.
for this day, May the 11th on a Saturday, so that, because there will be alcohol served and consumed on the premises, that because it is city-owned property, that we waive the city's open container law. So that's the purpose of the business at hand for this meeting, is that we address and get the permission of the mayor and council to waive the city's open container law to have this function May the 11th. So if it's
Chief.
discussion and come back to March's meeting, then I think that's probably what'll have to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's not in resolution, so.
Right.
Yeah.
This is-
Chief, will you have presence out there, police?
Mr. White has indicated that he wants 8 policemen, so I would think that would be a minimum. Anything that is alcohol related, you know, the city has an overtime rate of $30 an hour if it's at city property. So the ultimate thing, gentlemen, is that before we have a function at city-owned property, we must waive the city's open container law for this function because it is at Dawson Park. $30 an hour, and it'll be a 2-hour minimum. And I'm thinking the hours were 6 or 5 till about 10. He said the old school crowd gonna get out of there within 4 or 5 hours. What he told me. So me and Ricky and Ms. Pauline have met in my office back in January, and I just told them standard protocol. We presented to the council and had the council to waive the city's laws. So if it's the pleasure of the council in the March meeting, or if you do
Yeah.
it this time.
This is not for action tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is the issue, is to get permission of the council, put it on March's agenda, that if it is the council's wishes to waive the city's open container law and give Mr. White permission to have this function May the 11th.
And that is the only issue, as I understand it, Counselor, that we're discussing is the waiving of because we went to rent the parks all the time for events, and that's. Only for discussion, yes. And I'm saying that well, never mind.
Mr. Locke, in answer to your question, yes, sir, it will be security there. Whatever we can't, the sheriff's department will catch a slack.
It's fine.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And we pass the word. We welcome events, high-quality events to the city of Bastrop.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And don't
Thank-
bring that A shirt back in here when you come here.
I got it.
Okay. Item 10, Resolution 19-18. A resolution informing the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality of action taken to maintain permit requirements for Louisiana Water Discharge Permit System, LWDPS, number LE 0020443, main treatment plant. Mr. Bradley Alexander, can you come to the microphone, please?
Yes, sir.
Can you
These are-
state who you're with?
Brad Alexander, project manager for Veolia Water Sewer Department.
Thank you.
These are just the permits that we've been going over every year. It's just states what we have going on at the main plant and at the West Pond, and they're basically the same, except for one's for DG Foods pre-treatment and the main plant treatment, and the other one's for West Pond and the North Pond. They basically just state ongoing point repairs. That's any time we have a break in the pipe, we go in and we fix it. Bi-monthly cleaning, as y'all probably all seen the jetter truck out in the main, cleaning them out, making sure no stop-ups are happening. Line replacement is needed. If we get a break in a line and we got to replace a certain section, we cut out the section and put it in new. Continue maintaining, operating, and upkeep and rehabilitation of pump stations and serving facilities. Continue operation, maintenance, and upkeep and rehabilitation of main plant, wastewater treatment plant. Continue to streamline and economize operations of all plant equipment. Cross-training for operations and collection system personnel. Continue to train personnel and afford them the opportunity to gain higher state certification levels and be licensed in collections and treatment, which all of our guys, except for the two newest guys, have been certified, and more than one of them have been certified up past just the entry level. So we're good on those. And we use programs, software programs for maintenance and process control planning. We have a SCADA system on all the systems, so if something happens in the middle of the night, it sends out a call to our call-out phone, and we send somebody on the spot. Also, that's the same call-out phone. If somebody has a stop-up, they call the police department, and then they call us. And then that was the one for the main plant. Everything's the same except for on the West Pond, North Pond one, we're developing SOPs and streamlining operations, new equipment that was brought in with the stimulus project. That was the North Pond rehabilitation. And we've got them finished, and they're good to go.
Any questions, Councilwoman?
And that's going to be for 10 and 11.
These are two resolutions,
Yes.
was covered. That's Resolution 19-18-18 and 19-18-19. Can we do these separately, Ms. Goldman? Just do one?
Either way, you can do either way you want.
Can we do them both at the same time? Does any councilman have any problem? Both at the same time? Okay. Let's do one at a time, keep it straight. Resolution 18-18, a resolution inform the state of Louisiana, and I already read it. What's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Moore, second by Councilman Shaw, that we adopt this resolution. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstaining.
Okay, roll call, Ms. Goldman.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 12, Resolution 18-18, I'm sorry. Yeah. 18-19. A resolution informing the state of Louisiana, and this is West Pond, same language as the other one, but it's LE number LE 0020109, West Pond Treatment Plant. You heard the discussion from Mr. Alexander. What's your pleasure?
I move that we adopt this resolution.
It's been moved by Councilman Shaw,
Second.
Second by Councilman Locke, that we adopt this resolution. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstaining.
Abstain.
Roll call, Ms. Goldman.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
Aye.
Thank you.
The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 12, Resolution 19-1820, a resolution of the mayor and board of aldermen for the city of Bastrop, Louisiana, to enter into a software maintenance agreement for the Bastrop Police Department for February 1st, 2019 through January 31st, 2020 with Veripic Incorporated Solutions and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Chief Campbell.
Mayor, Alderman, this is Veripic. This is a company that we have used all the way back to Chief Freeman's tenure. The software that we use that protects any evidentiary photographs that deal with high-profile homicides, stuff that we know we're going to backtrack through the court system. We have a software system that protects it to where it's just not located in the cloud, but that it can be all the way to the Supreme Court if it's tried, that it's secure, and that it's the photo that we took of a crime scene, and we can say that it's not been tampered or tainted. It's a contract that come to my desk back in January that I can't sign contracts, it has to go through you. So this is just to update and carry on with the business of the police department when it has to do with our evidentiary photographs and the company that keeps them safe.
Helps us with all the chain of custody, all those kind of requirements.
If a defense attorney or counsel has a question about the validity of a photograph, we can have a custodial chain of evidence and prove that this photograph, we took it at a crime scene, the officer says that's a photograph I entered in the evidence, and Veripic keeps it safe and says that it is ready for court date.
Okay. Any questions for Chief Campbell, gentlemen?
Just say, you need a motion?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. This
sir.
is my recommendation. This is just to keep forward with Veripic so we can move forward and do business for another year.
Okay.
I make a motion that we adopt this resolution.
Been moved by Councilman Shaw,
Second.
second by Councilman Locke, that we adopt this resolution 19-1820. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Roll call, Ms. Goldman.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
Yes.
Thank you.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-1821, a resolution authorizing the mayor, acting in the name of and stead of the city of Bastrop, to enter into a corporate endeavor agreement in connection with Economic Development Award Program for replacement plan of the debt owed by the city of Bastrop under the EDAP. The city has agreed to pledge to LED, Louisiana Economic Development, these lease and rents generated and the reletting of the space formerly occupied by the company to Vector Disease Control International at the Morehouse Memorial Airport. As you're familiar, the city of Bastrop sponsored a company, Flying Tiger Aviation, several years ago. And as you know, Flying Tiger Aviation is now in bankruptcy, and they ceased doing business at some time during, I believe, 2017. I'm going to pass these out, Councilman Shaw. Can you pass these three down? I mean, one for you, one for you. Councilman Prater, can you pass Mayor Pro Tem Moore one of those? This is an agreement that you all gave me permission to do with the assistance of our staff and our counsel, Attorney Pierre. We fashioned an agreement with Louisiana Economic Development. you can see it says workout agreement and pledge of lease and rents by and between City of Bastrop and Louisiana Economic Development. Be it known that this workout agreement and pledge of lease and rents, that's an agreement, has been entered into and shall be effective December 15th, 2018, and among and thereafter. Well, this is an agreement, and I'll get to the meat of it. On page 2, gentlemen, 2 of 6, you see, pursuant to the terms of EDAP, the company was granted an award of a maximum amount of $575,000, of which $414,210.50 was awarded to Flying Tiger, was actually funded for improvements including a 20,000 square foot aircraft hangar space and 5,000 square foot maintenance hangar and 150,000 square foot expansion of the tarmac to the airport located and owned by the City of Bastrop. In consideration of the award, the company was required to maintain 6 jobs and create and maintain an additional 29 jobs for a total of 35 jobs, and to ultimately achieve the annual payroll of $2,058,500 over a 10-year term. For the performance which obligations, the company would receive credits to be applied against the repayment of the award, the $575,000 award. Well, that didn't happen. When the company, prior to the company's default, the company earned and received credits on this $417,210.50 because they had created some jobs. LED said, okay, we're going to credit you $40,000 toward the payment of this. This is a grant that as long as you kept your job performance figures up, then it was going to be a total grant. But that didn't happen. So when an item 4, the amount owed to LED by the City of Bastrop under the terms of this EDAP is the principal amount of $376,690.60 plus interest thereon at a rate of 12% per annum from the date of default until fully paid. So our exposure, if you take out your amortization schedule software and put in $376,690, then you'll find that at 12%, the total exposure that the city would have to pay over 10 years is $648,529. Okay? So that's to repay this, because when the company defaulted, the grant turned into a 12% loan from the date of default going back to 2017, about May of 2017. What this agreement is doing is getting us out of this where we don't have to pay the loan. We worked out a new agreement with LED. We have a company that we recruited to come to Bastrop. It was Vector Disease Control International. They spray for mosquitoes in cities all over the country, and we worked a deal where they relocated their maintenance facility from Greenville, Mississippi to Bastrop, Louisiana. The long and short of it is that we're going from a $648,529 deficit here that the city was going to have to pay out of its general fund some kind of way. Ms. Goldman, you got that kind of money laying around?
No, sir, we don't.
Oh, okay. Well, what this did, we worked this agreement with them, and LED accepted this on February 1st, paragraph 11 on page 3. The city has entered into a lease agreement dated February 1st, 2019. That was Vector's first day operating in the hangar. They are now operating in the hangar. And what we did was we pledged, in item 12, tells what the lease agreement is. We're leasing the hangar for $2,500 a month. The initial term of the lease is 5 years, commencing 12 a.m. on February 1st and expiring 12 p.m. January 1st, 2024, providing for a minimum initial monthly rent of $2,500 and containing provisions for several renewal options and rent increases. So a copy of the lease is attached. This is all executed. We executed the lease with Vector, with their headquarters in Little Rock, Arkansas, and also with the state of Louisiana. So this is the details, LEDs charge. We gave Vector a couple of months of low rent to help them with transition, lower rent. And LED also lowered our first payments. So the short of it is that Ms. Goldman has already set up a fund transfer. Is that correct, Ms. Goldman?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We got the fund transfer, and every month about, what is that figure, Ms. Goldman, the final one?
I don't know. A little over 2,000.
$2,000. It's about $2,000 a month. So we're going to get $2,500 a month. We're going to pay LED $2,000 of that. So we should be building a fund, a rainy day fund with that hangar, and hope that we're going to do everything we can to accommodate Vector to make sure that they're successful from our part. And we worked out all the agreements, and this is it. So it's a great day for the citizens of the city of Bastrop because we've eliminated the exposure as a result of the Flying Tiger. This takes care of 100% of the debt. And so this is a resolution authorizing the mayor acting in the name of the city stead to enter into a corporate endeavor agreement in connection with the Economic Development Award. And now, Councilor, I'm just, we had permission to do this.
Yes, I guess I was curious as to why not it was set as a resolution as opposed to just FYI discussion
Yeah,
type matter.
right.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the contract with them? You worked out the contract, right?
Absolutely, and I guess
Well,
you're
really,
advising.
Mr. Pierre had me write the contract, and he reviewed it. I typed every word, Mr. Locke. Okay. But he reviewed it, Mr. Locke, if that's satisfactory with you.
If he's
We're good to go. The long and short of it is that I think this council's already authorized the mayor to engage into this agreement for the purposes of canceling or eliminating this debt, and this gives the city of Bastrop an opportunity to have somebody else to pick up the bag of the previous administration.
Mayor, could I make a motion that we go ahead and approve this resolution?
Do we need the resolution?
I don't think you need it. They've already authorized you. I think he was just showing them the details.
Yes,
It should have
yes.
been on
I really overlooked that it was a resolution. So, Ms. Goldman, do you think we need this resolution?
Whatever you want to do.
Well, we can approve it.
Okay.
For the record's sake. It doesn't hurt to have.
Right. We've got it. It's already
Yes.
informed.
But LED's happy, Vector's happy, we're happy, everyone wins. The treasury, the fund of the city of Bastrop doesn't have to suffer this almost $700,000 hit and a lot of agony over these years. So, Mr. Pierre, should I have given you credit for typing those words, or?
Absolutely not, Mayor. It's your city.
Well, no, it's a people's city. I'm just a typist.
Right.
You know, Ms. Lenore's over me saying type faster all the time.
You're doing great.
Okay. Gentlemen, what's your
You got a
pleasure?
motion from Mr. Locke.
Oh, we have a motion? Okay. We have a motion from Councilman Locke,
I second that motion.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Moore. Any discussion? All in favor?
Hold it just
Go
a
ahead,
second.
go ahead.
Is this rate likely to come down, or?
That's a good question.
Are we locked in?
I'm not sure.
That's a good question. No, I'm glad you asked it. You see, you remember back in the paragraph where it said that they had created some jobs and they were credited $40,000? Okay, and I'm glad you asked that, Robert, because it's something I overlooked. They were credited $48,000. They were in for $417,000 or so in that credit. Well, we have the same kind of deal here. We are projecting 9 jobs. And if that increases, and we will get credit, any kind of increase, but it won't reduce it. It'll start at the 10-year and start coming back from the 120th month, 119th month, 118th month, 117th month. So hopefully the growth will meet us and we don't have to pay for 10 years. But if the agreement stays like it is and there is no increase, but there is increase built in this contract for us, but no increase in paying anymore to LED, then the city will reap extra money all above the fixed rate that LED. And I want to thank LED, the staff at LED, and I won't call names because many people were involved in this, but LED, Louisiana Economic Development, is one of the top in the country, and they always try to accommodate and bend over backward to work because this was nasty.
It was.
This was nasty. This was really nasty. When they first called me in July of 2017, say, welcome to office, Mayor. Now we got a matter. We're going to be knocking on your door. You owe us $376,000 at 12%. And this is I think a very good thing, and it's a win for the people of the city of Bastrop. Did we vote? We didn't? Okay, roll, discussion? Any more, Councilman? No. Did somebody call on the Lord? I did. Okay. Praise the Lord. Amen. Any more discussion?
No.
Vote, roll call, Ms. Coleman.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw? Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 3-0, and the resolution is adopted. 14, Resolution 19-1822, a resolution of the Mayor and Board of Alderpersons for the City of Bastrop, Louisiana, to authorize the mayor on behalf of the city to execute a contract with Todd Tidwell Appraisers, LLC, to prepare appraisals on the properties located at the Martin Luther King South Bridge, State of Louisiana, project number H.A.P.H.00617-006170- the Martin Luther King Bridge South. Mr. Todd, is he here tonight? Okay. Mr. Tidwell is one of the appraisers on the state-approved appraisal list for right-of-way. Whenever a city or the state of Louisiana builds a new highway, bridge, or anything that requires easements on people's property, then you can't just go, the city can't just say, oh, we've got properties and we'll trade you this, that, and the other. You can't do that. You've got to, I couldn't call Ms. Barfield and say, Ms. Barfield, what extra properties do we have adjudicated? Let's do some swapping. This has to follow the federal laws and guidelines to the T. And the process is when we come down to this point, and God knows I'm so glad we started this, and I'm so glad this council had the vision to approve the replanning and re-engineering of the Martin Luther King Street Bridge, because had we not, and this bridge taken out of the federal off-highway bridge program, we would be looking at spending a few $100,000 to build a timber bridge or to build a bridge of this magnitude, this kind of construction, concrete and steel, that's going to outlast anyone in this facility. Will all be gone, and this bridge will still be standing. So to have this, as Councilman Locke said, it was a no-brainer at the time you gentlemen gave me permission to proceed with this. We now are in a position to wait just a few more months, and we'll hopefully, if things go like we plan, to have a brand-new, state-of-the-art bridge, about $1.4 million bridge. So here again, dodge a bullet, but it's going to inconvenience the people of Bastrop for a few more time, but we're hoping that after people walk across that bridge, it's going to have a 9-foot pedestrian walkway, 9-foot safe pedestrian walkway. Right now, you can go and shake the sides of the guardrails, and it'll scare the daylights out of you. So this resolution will enable us to take the next step, and we've got until May 1st to get all the property procured to stay on target. And we can't get the property procured unless we have a certified appraiser appraise the property that's on the state's approved list. Any questions on this? Can we get a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a contract hiring this firm?
So moved, Mr. Cotton. Mayor Cotton.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Locke,
Second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Moore. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Goldman, roll call.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater? Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining?
Mr. Locke?
Yes.
Okay.
3-0.
No.
One absent.
Huh? No, but 3. Okay, 3-0 and 1 abstain. Okay, that'll be on there. Okay, the resolution passed. We will get that, and I will keep the council informed. Ms. Goldman, Cleveland Street Bridge, and I'm going to ask Councilman Shaw to weigh in on that discussion. Councilman Shaw and Ms. Goldman, can you address the Cleveland Street Bridge?
Previously, I won't belabor everybody with another round of it, but we have mentioned earlier that we do have that bridge shut completely down. It's got to be some major repairs done on it. And we do, Ms. Goldman, correct me on this, we did receive 2 bids, and we have one that we're getting recommendations from our engineers that says this is one we ought to go with. And can you inform us a little bit on that, Mrs. Goldman?
Yes, sir. Chad Fisher with Denman actually contacted 4 companies. One was Louisiana Bridge, and that bid was $67,400. There was another company called Amethyst. They were the ones that did our last over. They were loaded. They said they couldn't even give us a price. The 4th company never got back with them. I guess they were busy. But we had a second bid, and it was actually from, let me see exactly the company. Let's see, I think the name was, it was from Ben Allen. Their price was really shaky. There was a lot of question. They wouldn't give us a flat fee. And the reason why, I don't think they actually come and looked at the bridge. So, but Chad wanted me to emphasize what makes this bridge so high to repair. It's a lot of hand digging, and it's gonna take longer to do it. We're in the rainy season, but they're gonna go back with big rock, and it's costly more, but in the long run, you have more of your life of your bridge. So they felt comfortable with this bridge, and that's the one that they're recommending. I did call him to see if y'all gave okay for it, when could they start, and how long it would take, and he wasn't able to get back with me before they got off. So hopefully in a couple of days, we can just let y'all know that, whatever they tell us.
Okay.
But the bottom line is we have not dragged our feet on any of these. We've been soliciting bids from the first when we knew that we were going to have to repair these bridges. The Forest Street Bridge, Mr. Gray, we had to, the timbers were completely rotten on that Forest Street Bridge. And the city of Bastrop closed it because it was unsafe. And, but we've got it back in service. And we closed the Forest Street Bridge, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it's back in service, and we're going to take our infrared asphalt truck and overlay it with asphalt really soon.
Yes, the point is, we just want to get approval from the council and the mayor to move forward on it, and not cost us another month of waiting. We're getting
So-
close.
Yeah, because we need action.
Right.
And we'd like to get permission to proceed. The thing about bridges is, what I found, is that these contractors are so busy. So many of them are so busy and won't even bid. It's not like they're sitting around waiting on a job. And we want the public to know that Ms. Goldman's office receiving bids and sending correspondence to these different construction companies with the aid of our engineering firm, Denman Engineering. Gentlemen, we would like to have permission to proceed and do what it takes
We
to.
need a motion on that.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we proceed with the Cleveland Street Bridge repairs.
It's been moved by Councilman Shaw,
Second.
second by Councilman Locke, that we have the authority to proceed with the Cleveland Street Bridge. And we will inform, Ms. Goldman will call each councilman and inform you of the price and keep you in the loop. Is that correct, Ms. Goldman?
The price is going to be that.
67, you want to do this one?
Yes, sir.
I thought we were going
Right.
to reach out to,
Yes, it is going to be 67,000.
so you want to stick with this one and just go
Yes,
with
sir.
it?
The other one is going to be higher at the end of the
Yes,
day.
okay,
so.
all right. So it's to accept this bid from the company named. Do we need a resolution number for that, Ms. Goldman?
No, sir, we'll do it with action with this.
Okay. Gentlemen, you, Mr.
I made a motion.
Councilman Shaw makes the motion,
I second it.
second by Councilman Locke. Any discussion? All, Ms. Goldman, roll call, please.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
Present. Aye.
Thank you. And this here will come out of your street fund.
Okay.
And the bridge will be tested after the repairs to
Yes.
ensure
Yes,
Hope so.
that we're good.
tested by, yes.
I know I'm out of order.
You are, you are.
I'm out of
You are,
order.
wait,
I
you,
wanna know
you,
why Mr.
look, Miss, you're out of order. You're,
Mr. Green
you're out of order.
abstaining. That's
You're
why
out
I
of order.
wanna know.
You're out of order.
I wanna
Chief,
know the
Chief
reason
Campbell,
why.
Chief Campbell, would you come forward, Chief? Let's continue with the agenda, please.
Number 16, Mayor and Councilman, is just a change of hands at the business level of your Easy Mart on North Washington.
Okay,
Fuel Track Easy Mart LLC, 1231 North Washington Street, is a
Right.
Class A retail dealer off premises. I've been in contact with my liaison with ATC at the state level. They're approved. They've done all of their requirements with the state in Baton Rouge. It's just a change of hands and renaming. It's M&S Easy Mart, changing to a Fuel Track Easy Mart, and gentlemen are changing ownership.
what's your recommendation,
It's
Chief?
my recommendation that we move forward and let the Easy Mart continue with the
Do
business.
we have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Been moved by Councilman Moore, Mayor Pro Tem,
Second.
second by Councilman Locke, that this is approved. Any discussion? Or Ms. Goldman, would you give us a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Moore? Mr. Prater?
Abstain.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Abstaining.
Mr. Locke?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, item 17, the motion,
So move.
the license are approved.
I'll let them do the vote.
Okay, let's vote. Ms. Goldman, roll call, please. Didn't you? I thought you just,
Mr. Moore?
no,
Ms.
no. Okay, we did 16.
Yeah, we
I don't think
did.
anyone's going to make the motion on 17. A motion on 17 to adjourn for Mr. Locke, was that you?
Yeah.
And second by? All in favor? Meeting's adjourned.